So tonight we're going to be talking about anomaly detection. So first off, what is anomaly detection? So anomaly detection is the identification of one or many observations that deviate from the rest of the data or the established pattern. Now, you may be familiar with the concepts of anomalies or outliers from previous statistics classes, where you may have identified them on scatter plots, as shown in the visual on the right. You may have looked at standard deviations and so on. However, beyond just these basic descriptive statistics techniques, there are also common machine learning algorithms that are implemented to help detect anomalies, and that is going to be what we're focusing on tonight. So some of these common anomaly detection techniques include an isolation forest, one class support vector machines, local outlier factor, and so on. However, tonight we're going to be focusing on the isolation forest and the one class support vector machine. So first off, the isolation forest. An isolation forest is an unsupervised anomaly detection algorithm that uses random forests or ensembles of decision trees to detect outliers. So the isolation forest tries to divide the data so that each observation is isolated from the others. The thought is that usually anomalies lie away from clusters of other data points, so they should be easy to identify. Then the isolation forest computes an anomaly score for each data point. If the anomaly score is greater than a predetermined threshold, then that data point will be labeled as an anomaly or an outlier. So you can see on the visual on the right, the red data points are labeled as outliers, whereas the green data points are not. And that is based off of their anomaly score. The red data points have an anomaly score higher than that given threshold. Next, we're going to briefly touch on one class support vector machines. So similar to an isolation forest, it is also an unsupervised learning algorithm, and it trains data points from a single class. Now, this is different from a traditional support vector machine in that a traditional SVM trains from two classes. So the one class SVM tries to learn the boundary around that single class within the feature space. Then any data points that fall outside of that specified boundary are labeled as outliers or anomalies. One benefit to the one class SVM approach is that it does not require labeled data. Similarly, it provides clear boundaries, which makes the model fairly interpretable for anyone who wants to understand how the anomalies were calculated. So, anomaly detection, what does it look like within healthcare? So, one application of anomaly detection is early disease detection. So, anomaly detection algorithms can be used to identify unusual patterns in patient data, which may result in early disease diagnosis, especially for critical health conditions. So, for example, an anomaly detection algorithm may detect if a patient's blood pressure is abnormally high. Similarly, anomaly detection can be used for fraud detection. So, identifying any billing irregularities or suspicious insurance claims. And this prevents healthcare fraud. And given the high cost of healthcare within the United States, this is a big area of application. And then lastly, anomaly detection can be applied to the Internet of Medical Things. So, the Internet of Medical Things is basically all of the interconnected medical devices, the software applications, the hardware needed to power, wireless devices. So, an anomaly detection algorithm can be used to help identify potential security attacks, cybersecurity attacks on these devices, which they have a huge network of data. So, preventing those attacks is very important. Lastly, some common challenges with anomaly detection algorithms, common data roadblocks such as accessibility, quality, volume of available data. Similarly, the time-sensitive nature of the results. So ideally, an anomaly detection algorithm would be able to detect and communicate those anomalies in real time so the practitioners can act on them. And then lastly, interpretability. Whatever machine learning algorithm is implemented needs to be interpretable, and the practitioners need to be able to understand how those anomalies were detected.